I love being parasocial with you.
What is your take on parasocial relationships? Does it get annoying when random people mention you on Discord, or do you welcome it?
Parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party, their persona, is completely unaware of the other's existence. Parasocial relationships are most common with celebrities, organizations such as sports teams, or television stars. Okay, so yeah, quite familiar with it. Probably had a few myself in time. You know, you feel like you know this person, and to a light degree, I got to experience the parasocial relationship becoming, I wouldn't say a relationship, just something that wasn't just completely one-sided anymore when I got to talk to some people that I've been following their careers for a while. The weirdest one, even though it was a very, very, very light interaction, like I wouldn't even say it was an interaction, it was just acknowledgement from the person, was when Day 9 watched my Hollow Knight video. That was like, oh, holy shit, you know, like that's just like wow, like I love Day 9, man. So yeah, that was very strange. I think overall that's the best way to describe them, is just, it's just strange. I think the knee-jerk reaction is to say that they're bad and that you shouldn't get into any parasocial relationships, and that in a way that is kind of crazy and isn't constructive in any way. But I don't think that's true. I think that it's only natural in our society that we end up with these sorts of things, and that celebrities and organizations, I shouldn't say organizations though, that celebrities and you know, musicians, nowadays more streamers and YouTubers, but you know, actual proper celebrities have kind of replaced royalty, right? Nobles that, you know, you used to always have to keep in mind the local nobility and who was higher than you, and who had a lot of control over your life. Celebrities do not have any control over your life now, at least I would argue that they don't. But if you were in an older society that your life was effectively owned by the local nobility, and by extension the whole like network of nobility and the king or whatever that was nearby, that you had to be aware of that, even though they had no idea who you were. But that's not how I would describe it being taken over now. It's just that there's a worship about it, that, you know, oh, gossip, oh, what's going on with this person, what's going on with that person, and that's kind of really heightened with celebrities. I don't get annoyed by the mentions on Discord. Being in the public light is very stressful. It's very, very, very stressful. And I remember watching the Co-optional podcast years and years and years ago, and they were talking about the stress of being like public like that, and having your whole life pretty much bare to everyone to just kind of move through in that way. And Jesse Cox said, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, they come up to me like, I want to be a YouTuber, you know, like I like, how do I get it? And he said, you don't want to be a YouTuber. He's like, you don't want this. And he said it with a laugh, but he meant it. Like, he's like, no, you really, really don't want this. You don't. Trust me, you don't. Do something else. And this predates me starting the channel by, I think, at least a year, maybe even 2. And I got mad because I was like, who the fuck are you to say that? You know, like how fucking dare you say that? Who you're someone who's so successful and enjoys a life that a lot of people would kill for, you know, and you're gonna sit there and tell people not to do it. And, you know, I was like, what the fuck? And now I completely agree with them. I completely agree with them. And it's not because it's so hard that, you know, it's like, oh my God, it's so crushing or anything like that. It's that I don't think most people could handle it. And that sounds arrogant, but imagine walking down the street and, you know, every single day when you go out and you walk down the street, that every single person that you walk past says nothing to you, but out of every 50th person, or even if it just happens once a day, someone just runs up to you, gets in your face and says, you're fucking retard, I fucking hate you, I hate everything about you, you're an ugly, stupid piece of shit, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then they just run away. And that's it. That's the whole interaction. Now, just imagine that happening every single time you go outside. Every single time you go out for a walk, there's one person, and it's always a different person, comes up and says that to you. Most people are fine, you know, but that happens to you. That's what it's like being an internet celebrity. you will constantly have this interaction, and the bigger you are, the more often it will happen. I remember around the 100,000 subscriber mark that I said to Lily, I don't think I'm being seen as a person anymore. I'm now an entity. And as an entity, people think that they can say whatever they want to me, and that there's not going to be any repercussions because of what I felt for Jesse Cox, which was that how fucking dare you think that? How fucking dare you say that? You're so lucky. You that is so shitty of you to say something like that. When you're standing at the peak of success and you're telling people not to try. Because that's how people feel about me likely now. And they can feel like, okay, well, I can say whatever I want to this guy because he's so successful and he's doing so well that who gives a shit? And to the most of the part, they're right. Like it's like, who cares? You just brush it off. But again, imagine it happening every single time you go out. Imagine it happening as you get a little bigger. Now it's happening 2 times every single time you go out. Instead of out of every 100 people, it's out of every 50. Okay, now imagine you get even bigger. Now it's 1 out of every 25. That's how it is. When I open my messages on Discord, there's a high chance that it's just going to be a bunch of vitriol that is just, I fucking hate you. You're fucking stupid. I fucking hate you. Please don't have any more children. Or I got one on Twitter recently favorites. That is just like, just. You are a retarded fucking mongoloid. How dare you not like God of War? You're a piece of shit. All you do is talk out of your ass. Please go kill yourself. I'll even help you. Here's a Google link. Let me Google that for you. Here's how you kill yourself. Please go kill yourself. Please go kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill. Like it's just constant, And if you ignore that as best as you can, eventually it's gonna wear you down, and that's why I feel more sympathy to people who have that moment where they lash out at someone on Twitter. They have a big following, and then it's retweeted. Someone says, you know what, go fuck yourself. And then there's all these people that are like, how dare you say that? You need to be better for your fans. I'm so disappointed in you for you saying that to somebody. How dare you? You're someone who has 100,000 followers on Twitter, and you just told this person who only has 100 followers to go fuck themselves. I've been following you for 28 years, even though you're only 25 years old, and I'm so disappointed. I can't believe you said. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's bad of them and they shouldn't do it, but holy shit, you don't understand. This isn't a reaction to just this one person. This is just the 5,000th time this has happened in the past 6 months, and this is just the one that they decided, you know what, I can't take it anymore. I need to let it out a little bit. And it's like, that's why I felt bad for the person who worked for Guild Wars. The Guild Wars thing that happened when the writer for Guild Wars had the Ask Me Anything, and someone tweeted at her, and it was so benign. It was like there was nothing wrong with this tweet, and she completely overreacted, and she really let him have it, comparatively. It was really, really out of line, and I read it, and I'm like, wow. How many other shitty comments did she get over the past 2 months that this is the one that she had to react like that? And it's not excusing it, and she was wrong to do it, and it was nowhere near that bad. But even disagreeing with what she did, there was a part of me that was like, wow, like that must have been a really rough time for you. That's the one you reacted to like that, because that's what it's like. So those are the ones that kind of wear you down over time. It's like death of a million paper cuts, of sometimes you just have to react to it. And that's where it gets bad, that's why Twitch is bad sometimes too. People say to me, you say something bad on Twitch that most people disagree with, or that I disagree with, and you have all these people agreeing with you in Twitch and reinforcing your viewpoint. And I say to them, or I just think, because usually I don't even respond, I think that's not my experience at all. When I say something that controversial on chat, during a stream that fans disagree with, I feel like it's like I'm getting next to zero support from chat, and it's just a non-stop kind of like, Joe, you're fucking stupid. Oh wow, you really don't understand this. Joe, you're fucking dumb. You're fucking stupid. Are you even paying attention? Joe, you're fucking dumb. I can't believe this. Oh, you nitpicky piece of shit. It's just that's how it feels to me, and I feel like I'm getting next to no support from chat. So I guess it shows you how your perception can be skewed, because they feel like their thing is under attack, and that they're being the kind of oppressed party in the conversation, and that I'm here lording over my own little castle with people supporting what I'm saying, whereas I'm on the other side and I'm like, holy shit, I said something that pissed Chad off again. There's going to be a million comments about this. And usually when I go on YouTube, most of them are against what I said too. You know, that's how it's been for Danganronpa too, at least. Even if you have the thickest skin in the world, you know, if you hear something enough, you're gonna at least wonder a little bit. Like, that's how, not to get into politics, but I'm sure even Trump has responded, has read a lot of that criticism, and there's a little, because he's human, there's a little part of him that's like, oh wow, am I actually really that bad? Like really? Like there must be a little bit of him that is just like, oh wow, like, and that's at the highest level. The person who's getting probably the most hate in the entire fucking world right now is like it gets to you. Like it doesn't really have a long-term effect. It does on some people, but that's why I would agree that most people probably aren't cut out for it, because it gets to a point where, you know, you can't really ignore it anymore, or you have to at least acknowledge it and then try and dismiss it. But the beauty of it is that most people, unfortunately, don't become so big that they'll attract these kind of comments overnight. But then you'll see it happen anyway when an online group decides to brigade someone on YouTube or Twitch or something. It's like, oh, look at this person, let's hate them, and then all of a sudden they will have, you know, internet celebrity level hate when they haven't gotten to internet celebrity level status. You know what I mean? They not only have they not gotten there yet, they haven't earned it, they're not enjoying any of the benefits, but now they're getting all the hate and they can't handle it because, you know, the frog hasn't been boiled. You know, it's too much too quickly. I will say that in my experience, when that hate started happening, it wasn't worth it. You know, it was all I could do. I had no choice but to continue because I had invested too much time and resources into it, and at the time it was our really only option to keep going forward financially. But I will say, at the time that I started attracting a lot of those comments, it wasn't worth it at all. You know, and if I had a choice, I probably would have bailed. It wasn't worth it at all, not even a little bit. I'm glad I stuck with it because it was worth it long term, and you get used to it. But I think if you go back to earlier streams or maybe even earlier videos or earlier comments that you see me reacting to, or your earlier tweets, or maybe it still will happen sometime in the future, you'll see that my personality and my outlook has changed over time, and I probably come across as a little more frosty, you know, a little colder. And I think that happens to everyone. You know, I think there's always going to be a turning point whenever you have a following and you have a lot of attention coming your way, that you are going to turn into, you're going to change into a different person. But anyway, sorry, to get back to it, does it bother me when people message me on Discord? No, but if someone messages me over and over and over, it's the same person that messages me multiple times a day, I will start to get annoyed and I just stop answering. And that usually that gets the hint, because it's better for the person to realize it themselves rather than just be told, hey, you're messaging me too much, you know what I mean? So it can get annoying. I think that overall parasocial relationships are not by definition unhealthy, but they can definitely be unhealthy. I don't think there's anyone that I've encountered interacting with somebody that I feel like they have an unhealthy relationship with me or with Lily, but I could be wrong. Maybe they're really good at hiding it or something. I will always say that you should always take whatever I say with a pinch of salt, and you should always doubt whatever I say, and you should always come to your own conclusions, and you should never ever blindly defend me about anything ever. If you think I'm wrong, you should tell me. You should be polite about it, but you should tell me, or you shouldn't just go along with it. And I don't know. I don't agree with the idea that a lot of people have said to me that that, you know, king of your own little castle and everyone's here just to reinforce your opinions. I think that our community is actually pretty good on calling me out when they disagree with me. And not just the bad times when it's gotten a little rough with chat when we disagree. I'm talking about in general. Like, I disagree with you on Darkest Dungeon. I disagree with you on Dark Souls. I disagree on this, that, and this. I think that we have a pretty healthy relationship going back and forth. Yeah, but if parasocial relationships can be kind of scary, don't you think, Lily?
Yeah.
If it does become one-sided and you get stalkers and you get people that are really into it, which is why we will never reveal where we live. You know, like there has to be that level. I'm pretty sure the person that just drove by Dr. Disrespect's house and shot into his house has a parasocial relationship with Dr. Disrespect. I don't think you get to that level of hate without there being a little bit of love there first, at least. But maybe it's just like a crazed person that's just doing it for attention, or they're out on drugs or something. I don't know.
But you don't know anybody anyway. You know, like it's...
Yeah.
They know so much about us because we do these Q&As and, you know, and we talk to people on Discord and stuff like that. And it's not like when you were doing the videos now. There's a lot more interaction, whereas before you were just the guy reading from a script. You know,
yeah, that was a big change.
Removed.
And honestly, sometimes I regret it. Not just for how much, you know, stress it adds sometimes. It also adds a lot of good stuff. I really like talking on Discord and I like doing it. But the other problem is that it takes up a lot of time. Like a surprising amount of time. People said, you know, oh, well, you started streaming and video productivity went down. And overall, that's true. It did go down, but I have to play games. You know, I wasn't spending nearly as much time playing games as I should have been before we started streaming, and I could justify the time. But the other thing is that streaming started around the same time that Discord was founded, and Discord takes up a lot of my time too. You know, it may not seem like it, but even if it's an hour every single day, and it's usually more than that, but an hour every single day is at least 28 hours a month, right? So that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, and it's usually more than that. Now, I can multitask and I can do different things all at once, but you know, like that makes it more stressful for me, and it's just adding on to it. Yeah, that's quite a lot of time.
It's been weird to get used to, especially when you go on Discord and people are talking about you and they were like, you're scrolling and, you know, an hour ago or whatever.
And you weren't even there and they were talking about you?
I wasn't there.
They do it with you now too, right?
Sorry?
They do it with you now too, right?
They do it with me now too, and I actually had somebody not that long ago remind me, and the word parasocial came up, that there are parasocial relationships apparently involving me now on Discord. And I was not aware of this because I go on and I try to keep the community together and I try to be professional and, you know, welcoming to everybody who's joining, and I'm in mental health and I'm trying to help as many people as I can, and I have all these people messaging me now that weren't messaging me before, mostly related to mental health, but not always. I'm getting a lot of writing questions and stuff lately too. And sometimes it's fine and it's like you don't hear from them that often, but I am getting people messaging me every day now. And I'll come back to the computer and I'll have 10 messages of, where are you? Where are you? You know, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? And sometimes it's a bit much, you know, and I'm not the one making the videos and I'm not the one doing the stream. So I can only imagine what it's like that you're getting.
I think at the point, though, that you're talking to it, it's not a parasocial relationship anymore. Or I'm not sure about that, actually. I don't think that's the case. I don't know. Once it becomes...
But I talk to lots of people on there, and you talk to lots of people too, and that's what I'm saying. How do you know what these people really think? I'm trying to be polite, and I'm talking to people, and I'm trying to be helpful and useful and everything, but I don't really know these people. And Useful, yeah. You know, I don't really know these people, and coming back to that many messages and stuff like that, it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. And seeing people talking about us when we're not even there and stuff, it's not a bad thing, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, and it's, you know, again, they know so much about us that sometimes the topics are quite personal. You know, it's not all video game. When we moved, there were whole discussions about where we moved and how far from Toronto we were and how would you get there, and, you know, like this kind of, you know, about the kids and stuff too, you know. I had someone tell me that I should be more aware of parasocial relationships.
But how could you though? How can you control it, you know?
I can't control it, but to be aware that it's happening apparently, and I guess things have been said maybe, and it's not just the Discord, there are all these spin-off Discords now too that come out of your Discord.
Spin-off Discords?
Yeah, there's spin-offs, and yeah, there's people that have joined and made other Discords, you know, so there's another Discord dedicated just for people who don't want to bring up shit in our Discord, so they go to this other Discord and discuss problems they're having. Like, it's gotten bigger than just your Discord, so they're off in the other Discord sometimes talking, and we don't know what they're saying over there either, right? But I had someone give me a heads up saying you should be aware that, and that's why I was amused when I first saw Cat Girl's question, because I had just heard this term that I'd never heard before. I had to Google it before too, that these things are happening now, and there are people. you go on there and how many people jump to talk to you, you know, and there's this little voice in the back of my head now going, well, do they really want to talk to me because they like me and they think I'm nice and they want to talk to me, or are they talking to me because they want information about you, or are they talking to me because I'm your wife, you know, like...
I feel like that happens less to me now. Maybe the novelty is worn off, or I don't know. I don't know how many regulars we actually have on the Discord. It's almost 7,000 members, I think, but I don't know how many regulars we have. I feel like that happens less now when it's like, oh, I want to talk to him, but it does happen sometimes, yeah. Or notice me senpai, you know, that thing, yeah. I don't see how you can control it. I don't see how you can be aware of it, but I don't know what you could do to combat it in any way. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. So
someone says, and it's related, so isn't the whole parasocial thing entirely dependent on how you treat your unknown fan base? With the rise of instant communication as a supplement to videos and live streams, you, the creator, can now choose to engage more intimately with your viewers. At some point, if you decide they're your actual friends, is it still parasocial? I don't think if they're your friends, then it's parasocial. But these people, we try to keep a barrier still between, we can be friendly.
Well, you keep barriers with anyone, even if you know them in real life, right? So that's what I mean. Is it still parasocial if you get at the point where you message someone and they message you back? Is that parasocial? I would say yes, it is, because just a passing kind of thing isn't enough. But if it's like, if you're speaking to someone through DMs like fairly regularly, you know, there are people on Discord that I speak to at least a few times every single week. You know, Catgirl, I speak to Catgirl, right? I don't think Catgirl has a parasocial relationship with me. You know, I feel like that's like an online friendship. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. And I think at that point, it changes. But I don't know where the cutoff is. I still don't know what that, if there are any ramifications for that. I have no fucking clue. But I think it gets a little more complicated when you have just a passing comment rather than a regular interaction. Regular interaction can probably make things worse, but I think for most people it'll be like, oh wow, this person is just a person, you know? I think a lot of people have some shock when they come on the streams after watching the videos, you know, because they're expecting me to be just like I am in the videos, and they're not. And I think that's enough to kind of shake people out of the, oh shit, you know what I mean? But for people that aren't like that or the same, or when they talk to you, because you're a lot more similar on Discord than you are on the streams. There are two Joes really. There's Stream Joe and Video Joe, and Prison Joe. But you know, there's only one Lily, so maybe when they talk to you, it can make it worse, because they're like, oh, it's like making it the fires of the parasocial relationship.
See, and I thought
or making
it was the opposite.
Or making
and that's
it worse.
why I was so shocked when this person said that to me, because I was like, well, with me, you know, I'm just here trying to, you know, make everybody feel included, and you know,
yeah.
And I'm here every day. I check in every day, and I'm around. I'm not there all the time, but like, you know, I talk more on Discord than you do. Therefore, I should be smaller potatoes, you know what I mean? And I should be not that exciting because I'm here more, you know, so people talk to me and I answer all my
but
messages.
I think most people,
you know?
are going to feel, they're going to feel more grounded when they speak to you. It's going to be like, oh, okay, just a person has the same kind of likes, you know. The first time they see you make a spelling mistake, it's going to be like, oh, okay, you know, just a person, you know what I mean? Like, Stardew Valley, a lot of people were relieved when Eric Barone said, you know, I made this game by myself, but, you know, it wasn't balls to the wall every single day, every single time I made it. You know, I'm still a person, I still took breaks, I still got fed up as I was making it. And I think that can ground some people. For most people, that's going to be enough. But for others, a little passing comment might make it worse, or interaction might be, oh, more interested, you know what I mean? It might, you know, but that's getting more into obsession. I don't think that's parasocial. I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough information. We're talking about this too much. Sorry. Let's move on. Let's move on. Sorry. Let's spawn some good discussion though. Thank you, Cat Girl. Do you have any feelings about parasocial relationships? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, they obviously do exist, but I'm not really that familiar with them, and I also don't know what's just kind of like, oh, cool, I'm interacting with this person. Like, there have been a few times where there have been people that I've interacted with, especially when the channel was first starting out. Like the first time I ever spoke to Total Biscuit, there have been other channels I've spoken to. It's been like, oh wow, it's really cool. I get to speak to you. You know, like I've heard your voice a lot in videos that I've watched, and it's kind of cool that it's like a one-on-one interaction. You know what I mean? Like so I get where that comes from, but I don't know where that becomes parasocial and when it just becomes like this person is mildly famous, you know. But it makes me uncomfortable whenever I respond to someone and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe you responded or whatever. And it's kind of like, well, you could just come up on stream and there's a pretty high chance that I'll read your comment and answer it just like live right there. This doesn't seem like it should be special anymore, even though I do have a fairly large following, you know, relatively large, you know, still small potatoes compared to the big picture, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. It's I'm not really that well versed in it, but it does make me uncomfortable. Yeah. It just happened on the Death Stranding VOD on YouTube. Someone left a comment and I responded to it, and they were like, "No sarcasm. I can't believe you responded." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm really uncomfortable right now." Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Sorry, Koi Vision. Susan says, with 50 bits, I'm pretty nice with acquaintances and an asshole with my friends. Since we have a parasocial relation, I end up being nice and an asshole to you. Sorry about that. That's alright, I say, Spaceman. Don't have a parasocial relationship with me, though. There are much better people. You Is that irresponsible? It's not don't have a parasocial relationship. It's pick your parasocial relationship better. Zorgo accused him to say, no, it is funny. I do think about it a lot. I think this is about parasocial relationships. I find it interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan and we're reasonably friendly with each other per se, but we're not really friends. It's more like I give you money and I'm like, dance, funny man, dance. To perhaps be a bit too cynical. I mean, I love you, Joe. Relationships on the internet are weird. It is weird. I do agree. Yeah, the parasocial dynamic is weird, but I'm not really that familiar with it, so I can't really comment on it too much. If any of you do feel like there's some sort of parasocial relationship like going on and it's unhealthy, then you know by all means like take some time away, like go and do your own shit or like reevaluate, or maybe you have to give up the stream or whatever. I don't know. I really that's really is out of my area, so I don't know, but I'm just like throwing suggestions out there. Don't feel bad at all.
She has one more question. Have you ever felt like cutting schedule and playing Danganronpa 2 after Danganronpa 1 finished quicker than 2 months? Are you feeling the same way breaking schedule for Danganronpa V3?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the amount of games that we have queued right now is very frustrating to me. Same with projects on YouTube. I feel like there's way too much in my head, and it's actually starting to you know, sorry to be melodramatic, but it's kind of affecting my mental health a little bit. Lily's quite worried about me. She's more than she's letting on. That there's just too much. You know, where we have to play this game, we have to play the David Cage games and the Halloween games, and we also have to play Ultra Despair Girls and watch the anime, and then V3, and then Yazuka Zero, and then Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, and also we have to play Catherine when it comes out, and Ace Attorney, and then there's the new voting poll, and then you have to make these videos, and then the Witcher video, and it's just so much. And when you're making the Nier Automata video, when you're making this video, when you're making that video, and it's just crazy. It's just way too much. But yeah, I am tempted often to skip, but yeah, this is the last thing I'll say because it links back to your first question. When you get to this position, you're not really in charge anymore. You kind of you're beholden to your audience a bit, and maybe that's something that I need to let go, and there's going to be a rough period. Like I've already said it on Patreon and Twitter. I'm not crunching a video out ever again. It's not happening. So video production has so far benefited from an intense period of crunch at the end of it, which makes me work like double, triple time that I usually do, which means that long video production is actually going to be a lot slower now, and I think there's going to be some fallout on Patreon because of that. That a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're not doing as much work anymore, fuck you, you know. But I just can't do it anymore, man. I just really can't do it. So I think that there's gonna be some backlash, and maybe this is something else I need to learn too, that I shouldn't be beholden to my audience. But at the same time, if I say I'm gonna do something, or if I make a promise, I should keep it. That's not beholding to your audience. That's you saying something and you should deliver, right? So we'll see. But I expect Patreon is going to drop down by probably a quarter of its amount over the next few months, unless people really take to the shorter videos and the highlights. But I don't know, that'll be interesting to see. Like, because I thought it was pretty clear when I made the line in The Witcher in the Patreon video that I'm very capable of having a video out every single week. Easy, 10, maybe even 20 minutes every single week. There could be a new video on the channel if I could break up the videos that I've already made into 20-minute chunks like other people do, or I break those topics into 20-minute chunks like I always do. Easy 20 minutes every single week. If I did that with the content that we have, I don't even think we'd be done Zelda. Like we would still not be there. That's the level of content that, like, the pace would be awful, but people might accept that more, because it's not about the amount of video content that's created. It's all about the frequency at which you get the hey new upload button, right, or notification. So it's like human psychology. So I'm curious to see if people are going to be happier with the lower amount of work because the videos are going to be somewhat regular. That would be pretty disheartening, because it means I did all this for no reason. I could have just split them up, but again, like I said, I make things primarily for myself. I'm my own audience. So if I wouldn't like things to be split up like that, I'm not going to do it, because it wouldn't be good, and I would prefer it in a different way, even if that isn't really the most efficient way to do it. Anyway,
but you're not saying that you're not going to deliver the promises that you made. You're just saying you're not going to deliver them in as timely a manner as you were before.
Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, I think there's an expectation of it's going to be done soon. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe my outlook is flawed, and I need to look at that again. I don't know. Quality over quantity, someone in chat says. I agree. I definitely agree about quality over quantity. The problem is that a lot of people on Patreon don't agree, and that's the main source of income that we have, and there are plans that we have going forward that are dependent on the level of income that we're on right now staying somewhat level. We have plans in place that it doesn't have to be that. We have contingency plans and safety nets, but there are many people on Patreon that disagree with quality over quantity. During this drought, when we moved, I got a lot of messages from people who previously were very supportive of the channel. People that even said, "Hey, quality over quantity, take your time." Who then messaged me and said, you're a lazy piece of shit. What the fuck? Where's the video? I can't believe that you're not taking this seriously anymore. Just really, really harsh messages, because I guess they think that because they gave some amount of money at some point in the past that they're allowed to just let me have it. Because I had someone say, we're your boss, because I gave you money. I'm effectively your boss, and if this was a real job, you'd be fired. I mean? Like people don't understand the amount of work that can go into these videos and how long it takes to produce something of that length and that complexity. And for many people, Patreon supporters included, the pace at which the first Fallout 4 video was made, the same month that it came out, is like, that's the standard. Well, I don't remember that month. Not just making the video, I don't remember the month. I don't remember the month of November 2015. The fastest you ever produced a video becomes the expectation that everyone has for you. And that's just not healthy. And maybe that's a mistake long term. And if anyone is starting their new channel out, I would say, hey, you probably don't want to go as hard as you possibly can, because that'll be the new normal and people will expect it. But at the same time, because we went that hard, the channel grew as fast as it did, and we are here where we are now. So if I went back in time, I wouldn't change it. I would still do the same thing I did last time, because that was the best decision for me and my family. So like I wouldn't do something different, but you have to deal with the expectation now, and there's going to be problems from it. couldn't believe the things that people were telling me, you know, right in the next message too, you know, like the message system that you have on there shows their last message, because that's the last message that said, oh, you know, I love your content, please take your time, you know, you never feel like you quality over quantity, never feel rushed, you know, we're all here for you. And then the next message, you know, I'm dropping my pledge, you lazy piece of shit, all you want to do is stream and you're not doing any work or anything like that, and like, how dare you? It's like, well, what the hell, you know, like. That's why I've said in the past Q&As, and Lily will agree with it. Long-term goal is to drop the Patreon, like as soon as we can, you know, or have a message on the Patreon saying, hey, this Patreon is now for people who just want to have a way to support any future thing that we do, with no guarantee of any future content. Really, there's not going to be a future rate, there's not going to be anything like that. It's just here as a, hey, I'm someone who watches your videos, maybe I watch with ad block and I want to be able to give you a little bit of money every single month, as a thank you for the continued project of whatever you do, you know, that sort of thing. That's the long-term goal, because
so much pressure.
When you have the Patreon, it's a lot of pressure to be living up to that, especially when you have a Patreon like mine, which is one of the higher ones, you know. It's so much like, okay, I need to have that content out, and some people don't get that. It's pretty disheartening. TBH.
Well, it kind of goes with what you said before too, about how people don't see you as a person, you know, and how people see you as an entity.
Yeah.
And how people don't see every day, you know, when you're working on a project like that. The weird hours you pull, and also that the life happens, shit happens, you know. Okay, we didn't move in the most efficient way that we could have moved. Okay, like we fucked up.
I don't know. Like, or what if I get sick? What if I'm feeling like?
Well, I was sick a few days ago. Right?
Yeah,
and I messed things up.
Or
and
what
then
if
you get sick? You mess. What if the kids get sick? They mess things up. What if you didn't sleep? You know, what if I'm bipolar and I have
that's what I was gonna say. Like, what if you're manic, or what if you're depressed, or, you know. Like I don't think people have a right to have that, but if you to know that, but if you put up a message, you know, not without any details, people are like, well, what's going on? I have a right to know. Like I don't know. Like, have we said this before? Enough time has passed. What happened during The Last of Us and the Uncharted video?
You can talk. I mentioned it on Discord already. I spoke about it.
Lily had a miscarriage during if you go back on Twitter and you look at when the Uncharted and Last of Us video was being produced, there's a tweet that I did. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a couple weeks late, you know, because something's come up. Sorry. And some people were like, well, this is unacceptable. Like, I need to have more information. You know, I need to know what's going on. But like, I don't think people have any right to know that, you know.
Nobody knew I was pregnant. Like, our families
Lily
didn't
had a
know
miscarriage.
that I was pregnant.
You
Our
know,
families didn't even know I had miscarried. You know, like, it was
like during that
something you advertised.
Please do not take that as. It was very, very, very early on in the pregnancy. This is when we're trying to get pregnant with what turned out to be Leo. Not Leon though. It was very, very, very early on. But like, and I'm not saying like it was like a while ago now. And I'm just saying as an example of, you know, stuff like that happens. And because the job is public, should I go on Twitter and say, hey, announcement, everybody, this is just how do you communicate that, hey, something's happened, we need time, without it being, oh, you're just being lazy or you're not working. And then there's people like, there's a comment on the God of War video that's basically like, you thank everyone for the support so much at the end of this video that you were able to move and get a house, and you rewarded them with 3 months of no content on the channel. And it's like, motherfucker, what do you think I was doing? I'm at the same time, I'm annoyed, but I'm also flattered that there are people out there that think I made a 3-hour video in what does he think I made it in 3 days? Like I don't. What's going on in this person's head, apart from, unless they're a troll that's just like, you know what, fuck this guy, I just want to insult him. But like, do you really think that video was done like over, like, oh, I feel like making a video, like no, what do you...
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't see how many times you play the games. They don't see, you know, you're getting the footage. They don't see the script, how long you have to think about it. You have to gather all your notes. You have to actually write it. We have to edit it. You have to record it. You have to edit it. You have to gather the footage. You have to edit it, put it all together. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's not like you can't work every minute of every day either. You know, you have other responsibilities here. if you had a job and you went to work every day, you would still come home and have other responsibilities, you know, and things get in the way. And again, you have a sleep disorder, I have a mental illness, that sometimes pushes things back. You know, I'm not going to lie.
I'm surprised it hasn't gotten in the way more often than it has.
There have been many times you've been working or streaming and I've been up here in tears, or, you know, and you try to not on those days, but like sometimes there's a previous commitment. You haven't slept and I'm depressed, and what are we going to say? Oh, sorry, Lily's depressed again, we can't have a stream.
And that's why I want to say that example. It's like you can't, like there's no right to that information, right? That's why I don't know. But I feel like even if you were like, I feel like we shouldn't be talking about this, because I feel like some people are going to take it the wrong way, especially considering this is the Patreon Q&A, for fuck's sake. But even when you try and explain this to people, sometimes you'll get criticism for that. You know, there's a post on the Patreon page that someone went on this long tirade of like, oh well, what the hell are you even using this money for? You obviously haven't been working and all you do is stream and all this shit, when the God of War video is taking longer than we thought. And then I respond to that, because that was my moment of, okay, you know what, I can't take this anymore, it's happened enough, I need to vent it out a little bit. And then you get criticized for the response. You know, you get, and now suddenly it's like, well, you shouldn't have responded in this way, I can't believe you did this, or, you know, this was in bad taste, you shouldn't be saying stuff like this. And it's like, well, you can't win, you know what I mean? It's better not to say anything, but then you think, okay, well, is this just sitting there and everyone's just agreeing with it? Like, I don't know, that's why again, like, we shouldn't go on about it, but the Patreon adds so much stress to it's not a simple, you know, like, hey, you make the content, here it is, you know? Like, it's not like that at all. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Thank you, HellPuppy95, for the 5-month resub. Is me or other Twitch subs or donators literally paying you to give us attention a parasocial relationship, or just capitalism? No nefarious implications, man? I don't know. I definitely think that some people take advantage of that, and I think it's easy to say it's like what cam girls do, and you have followings on Twitch of very pretty girls that, you know, tease their audience and will interact with them and kind of like, oh, let's hang out with the really pretty girl. But I'm sure guys do it too, you know, like it happens, you know, people get wrapped up in a community like that, and it can get unhealthy. But I don't know, where do you draw the line? What's just having fun, and what's, you know, you're addicted, or you are like so wrapped up in it that you can't stay away, and you're becoming invested in this person. But then there's also the community side of it too, right? Maybe you're not there for the person, maybe you're just there for the community that surrounds them. I'm pretty sure that I'm certain there are a lot of people that follow me that don't like me, and they're here because originally they liked it when I made a mistake, or they like to make fun of me or anything like that. But some of them might be here because they genuinely enjoy the community now, that they might like, they might be sitting here right now, probably not right now because this isn't one of the streams that we get people like that. But for streams that we play the big games, they might be here like genuinely enjoying themselves, not just because of me, you know, like, oh, he's fucking talking again, shut the fuck up, I'm just here for chat, you know, like that could definitely happen. I could see that happening for sure, and that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
500 bits. Just keep up the great work, and even though it's near impossible to not be worried about something, I hope you still end up enjoying what you do at the end of the day.
Oh, I really do. I love my job, and that's where it comes back to what I said about Jesse Cox said, you know, and I was like, how dare you have such a great job, and you're on top of it. Like, I wouldn't trade it in. Now that we're this far in, there was a moment at some point where I thought, okay, this isn't worth it, but I wouldn't trade it in. I doubt he would either. You know, once you're into it, but you know, to recommend someone start is not as easy as you might think, even if you know they're gonna hit success with it. For sure. Thank you so much for the bits.
You know, everything can become work, right? You can love your job, and you can be really good at it and be really passionate about it. But at some point every day, you're not going to want to do it. You know, for right, like for writing, for any kind of. What was that meme that passionate.
What was that meme that was being passed around? There's a saying: choose a job you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. And someone recently on Twitter took that meme and scrubbed it out and said, choose a job you love and you will spend every single day of your life panicking that you're not doing enough, become completely obsessive, work way too many hours, and completely lose yourself to it. And then that's kind of what it is, because it's not, there's choose a job you love and it's a traditional job, and that's fine because you have set work hours. Whereas if you do it from home and if there's an unlimited amount of work and there's an unlimited amount of hours that you can pour into work, it's really hard to say stop. And especially when people are say go for it, and there's demand that's there. But anyway,
someone says having your hobby become your job is the best way to lose your favorite hobby.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this was the big question. I didn't read ahead. How is the experience of being parents who stream been overall? And I was wondering how you balance streaming, video making, and parenting. It seems like you've both been doing all right, but I also get the impression that things can get too intense, especially during God of War. Thanks. Hope this wasn't too personal, and have a good night.
No, it's fine. I don't think I can give you a very good answer though, unfortunately, because there's not really much to it, because I do stream fairly often now, but it was more before, and I've never really considered myself a streamer. I'm just the game critic that will stream some playthroughs of games, but that's probably not right anymore. I probably am a streamer now, which feels weird because I never thought I would ever be a streamer, and I kind of cheated my way here through the YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't really think about it all that much. Part of streaming is kept kind of distant because it's not all I do, you know? Like it's not just a lot of streamers, it's just we stream and that's it, you know? And it's this big thing, and their whole lives or their whole work lives revolve around how they're going to do the next stream, how they are going to engage their audience and all this other stuff, and how to make streams more fun and get viewership up, and maybe they work together. I don't know. I haven't read the article, but I assume that it's a partnership in a lot of cases, like Lily and I are doing right now. But for me, it's kind of like, it's just something kind of bonus to do while I'm playing games anyway, and the YouTube channel is the main thing, right? So for that reason, I feel like I'm not really qualified to talk about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I sense some disagreement. What do you think?
Well, you are a streamer because sometimes you can go like a whole week where you're streaming every day pretty much. So to me, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't start initially to be its own thing, it was kind of just a bonus income. And we don't do the streams together. We did in the beginning, but we don't do them. We only really Lily's streams have turned into Q&A streams, and that's all. Like, we used to try and do more than that, but it just doesn't work. But I was just thinking, we do a lot of it together though. Like, it dominates a lot of our life. You know, how much time do we spend talking about future plans and current plans, and you know, you're doing the streaming and I'm juggling the household basically and the kids, and then you're not streaming, and then you're working on the video, and then you're engrossed with that too. And
so maybe we should answer more in line with the whole channel instead of just streaming.
I think so. Like, I think they go too much together, that they're not really separate anymore. You wouldn't really have one without the other so much.
Okay, so we can answer that, but I don't think you're gonna like the answer. It proves to me that the way that we do it right now is not sustainable, and it's only for the short-term future. For, I would say, at most 5 years. We have 5 years left of doing things the way that we're doing it right now, because it's not that it's going to go away. It's just that it's going to be too difficult for both of us to be involved the way we are when the kids are going to have way more stuff. They're going to be way more demanding, you know, hobbies, interests, education. You know, it's going to be a lot more to it. As time goes on, in some ways becoming a parent gets easier every single day, and in other ways it gets harder. Kind of like, would you agree there's kind of like dips and valley, you know, like
it's so hard when they're born, and then you kind of meander a little bit, and then like they hit like 4 to 6 months, and then it gets hard again, and then it kind of calms down again, right? And then they're mobile, and then you're like, holy shit, they're into everything. And Leo's getting into hard phase now.
Yeah,
Finn settled actually, but Leo is hard now.
Finn, you can also communicate with Finn now, and Finn's time on stream is rapidly coming to an end. You know, Finn is able to tell me information that I don't know now. You know, like he'll come say, "Daddy, big big aunt, or daddy, and he'll show me something, and he'll drive me across the house, because he's getting to that point now where he's going to be able to say something on stream, and that's it. And also, it's not cool to have him on stream when he's an actual person and we don't have his consent to put him on stream. Like that's important. When he's a little kid, it's fine, or a baby, it's like whatever. Like he's gonna, like you can watch a horror movie with a baby in your lap. It doesn't really matter, like not that we did, but you could. It's no big deal. But yeah, so there's that's a part of it too. But I would say about 5 years, and then everything to do with this is going to have to be very, very X amount of hours, X amount of days, and nothing more than that. And once it's done, it's done. It has to be more like a traditional job of, I work this many hours, and when I'm home, like maybe even a separate office would do it. When you're home, it's like strict rule, like you can't go with that, because there needs to be a separation, right? I think that's what's going to have to do, how it's going to have to work. I think overall we manage it quite well, but I do feel like when I get into a stream, heavy into streams, mostly heavy into videos, which is why we're not doing it anymore. It's already beginning that we're calming down from it a bit. Is I don't see them. I don't see the kids, and Lily is not only is Lily the taking the entire brunt of looking after them, she's also the only one that's really seeing them that much. I would see the kids, I'd get up, I'd interact with them a little bit, and then straight down to work, and then bedtime I'd say goodnight to them, and then that would all I would see them really for all of God of War. Some meals as well, I would come up and see them, and for Finn's birthday, I made sure I took some time for that. But yeah, for stream events it's better, because it's I can only stream for so long because viewer fatigue can set in. But I worry if you guys would watch me an infinite amount, I wonder if I would stream like I made God of War. That's interesting to think about, actually. If you guys would sit and watch me play Danganronpa 2 for 12 hours, I wonder if I would stream for 12 hours. I think I would. I really think I would. I think I would hit it that hard just to get it done, because usually when I get into a game and I'm really enjoying it, I would binge it anyway.
But
so I think I would do that.
Is it the same as the videos, though? Are you going to say you get it done in 4 days instead of 8, and you hit it really hard, then there's going to be a longer drought between videos.
Yeah, for sure.
And then are people going to be saying, well, we missed the streams, we're in the streams because you got it done so fast? They're not going to be saying, oh, well, we just had that amount, that many hours, right? It's going to be, when's the next one? When's the next one? That's
an interesting way of looking at it, actually. And maybe that proves something about the videos as well.
But yeah, it's when you get heavy into video stuff and heavy into streaming, it gets really difficult. It's not only do you not really see them, you start pulling weird hours, then I start pulling weird hours, and because I don't get to see you either, so then I'm up at 3, 4, or 5 in the morning, right, trying to talk to you.
Yeah, you do that.
And then I suffer for it, and I fall behind here. Like, Leo right now is at the age where he doesn't want to stay behind a baby gate anymore. He wants to be free, that he can walk around and be into everything. Finn is pretty much into everything, but you still have to supervise him, obviously. You can't just, I can go into another room now and leave him, but I can't leave him for too long without checking. So, my day begins with them, and when they don't go to bed until like 10 o'clock, or they're awake at midnight like they were tonight, and you're trying to be quiet, you're trying to, stay away from them. Well, how does the cleaning get done? How do the groceries get done? How does the cooking get done? Like today, Leo and I had a big fight, he was crying and I was almost crying because...
So I'm laughing at the thought of you and Leo having a fight.
I was so mad at him, but I understand. But he was so mad at me because he wanted to be free. He wanted to walk around, and I had the oven on. And I'm like, you can't. Like, we don't have a baby gate blocking the kitchen. We have a baby gate that they have the dining room, right? So if you're allowed to be free, you're going to walk over and touch the oven. You can't, And he obviously doesn't understand you can't be out because you can't touch the oven. So he's crying, and I'm getting frustrated because I know I have to feed them, and I have to start dinner, and, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? Dinner's going to take an hour to cook. I have to be back and forth flipping it and checking it and trying not to burn it, and I have Finn going, mommy, he wants this, he wants that. I have Leo shrieking and crying. So when there's a stream or something going on, it gets even worse, because then it's like, it's you're on your own with the kids, and that's your first priority, and then other stuff kind of falls by the wayside, kind of, and this place starts to get messy, and the upstairs doesn't get cleaned up because, well, they're sleeping, or Joe's sleeping, or how am I going to work that one out?
It doesn't get that bad though.
It's not that, but like compared to what I wish it would be.
Especially compared to the apartment.
Like, we have a room upstairs that still has some boxes in it that I haven't unpacked yet. I've been meaning to get to them, and when do I get to them though?
There's some furniture that I still have to assemble.
That's what I mean by mess. I don't mean like dirty. I mean like there's clutter that I would like to get to, and it keeps going on the list, and then I say, okay, well, we're gonna have a few days after the streams are done, or maybe a week or two after the streams are done, or after a video, and then Joe usually needs some recovery time after that too, where then you'll sleep a bit more than usual, like you have been.
Mm-hmm.
And the list just seems to keep getting bigger, and like we get a few things knocked off it, every break, but we don't get, even half of it. So I'm noticing with the kids, that if we didn't have kids, I think it would be very different, the way that our time would be, and, there wouldn't be that big chunk of your day, that goes to them, and you wouldn't have to rush upstairs to see them.
I think about that a lot. I think about what if we had started this, obviously you have no idea that was gonna go this well, but I think about that a lot. Like if we had started before the kids, how different would it be?
And they started at the same time too, right?
Yeah, Finn is the same age as the channel. It's always gonna be the same. But I also wonder, what would it be? Would you have the same kind of motivation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think about that a lot.
Just in terms of parenting, I wonder, what that would have... I wouldn't trade it. I remember going to work with shit after, I had Finn, and you were home with Finn, and that was hard.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I wouldn't trade it.
I don't think,
but just in terms of parenting, I find we kind of have a weird schedule. We have a bit of a weird routine because it changes all the time, and we're not going outside for work. So our lifestyle, I think, is different from other people who keep a 9 to 5, and again, we live in a city now. We don't know anybody here, and we don't have any family support, so we don't have anybody coming over and interacting with them, or hey, we'll take them for a couple hours, and you can go and do whatever you need to do, or you can go unpack those boxes, or whatever. So we're in a bit of a unique situation for a lot of things like that with the job, and the hours we keep, like right now, not normal work hours. And there's so many, I would say, areas too, right, that you're juggling, with the streaming and the channel and the Discord and the Twitter and emails and Q&As, and there's so many facets to it.
But one thing I do want to say, which I think is a positive to balance that, is it's interesting to know that there's all this recorded footage of us, that not just of me and you, Lily, but the kids too. Like Finn won't be on it for much longer, but he's still there. He can go back and listen to himself, and hey, you were a part of this at this age. We stopped after that, and also like, hey, your dad had a public job, and he could go and go through it if he wanted to. I don't think he will, but it's kind of neat,
Yeah, it's like home videos, but not.
Yeah, I do like that part of it. That's interesting. Kids permitting. I'm sorry if we seem kind of down or frustrated tonight. It's just the way that the questions kind of went, and that's what we talked about. We're not as frustrated as it may have come across. I love my job very, very much, and I consider myself extremely, extremely lucky.
We're very lucky. We're very fortunate.
So please don't think that I think otherwise. It's just that there is going to be some frustration involved in it, for sure. But yeah.
I kind of feel the opposite that you feel, in a way that I feel like if we are going to voice them, that this is kind of the place to voice them, because we give Patreon updates and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's not bad that we do it. It's just I want to make sure that we're not being misunderstood.
If we're going to talk about frustrations and and downsides and stuff like that, like this is kind of the audience for it. You guys.
See you later. I'll say bye, Lily.
Bye, Lily.